Jellal Fernandez during the Grand Magic Games. So Jellal Fernandez had created his own guild called Crime Sorcerer. It consisted of Melody and Ultir from Grimoire Heart. Their goal was to find any traces of Xerath and Acnologia, but mostly Xerath, and like wipe that shit out. Make sure people were doing well, and anybody affected by Xerath, would be rescued or saved or whatever. And they would hunt down Xerath and defeat him. They don't need that shit. They don't like that. Because they were like their lives were like fucked with by Xerath. They were dark, wizards at one point in time, but then they became good, and that their guild was an independent guild. So Jalal, wanting to like repay Urza and everybody else for all the bad he's done, he joined Fairy Tale Team B as Mystigan because they knew of Mystigan, but Mystigan was in Edelus. You know, he wasn't there no more, so he had to remember some of Mystigan's magic and like replicate it during a fight with guess who? Juranikas, one of the 10 Wizard Saints. That was one of the better fights during the Grand Magic Games, at least until the end, right? So he fought against Juranikas. He broke out, Mystigan's, attacks, right? But then he wasn't, used to using them. So he used heavenly body magic, and he was fighting against, Jura. And Jura started to like put two and two together. He's like, oh shit, this is Jalal Fernandez. But he didn't like make it loud and shit, because he's like, I don't care really, but other people would. And he was like, he was noticing things happening. Grand Chariot got, spammed on it, or not spammed, but it got used. And then he started to use another move called Sema and send down the meteor from the sky. But before that happened, Melody used the body link magic, and then Ultir was shoving, hot peppers down her throat, and then started tickling her until she couldn't handle it and passed out. And that, it happened to Jalal too, because it was body link magic. So whatever happened to Melody happened to Jalal too. And then he was able to, she was just basically trying to like save him from using like his best moves and shit, because then people would know it was Jalal and not Mr. But he ended up still getting away and other things, but he lost that match. Unfortunately, strength though is a 90%, speed 96. 87 for his durability and 89 for his endurance, with the 91 for his intelligence and a 90 for his experience. 89 for his close skills and a 95 for his range skills. 87 for his recoup and a 90 for his hacks. Overall power score is a 90.4 for Jalal Fernandez. Be cool, go on the corner.